Welcome back to the Bourbon Note, everybody. I'm Ben. I finally got a hold of this bottle. Let's get into it. So on the bar tonight, I have got, bam, Larceny Barrel Proof C924. So I guess it's better late than never. This one here has been eluding me for months. Obviously, it came out in September. Here in Minnesota, we tend to get these a little bit later, but within usually by the time October, mid-October rolls around, we'll start seeing them. And Larceny Barrel Proof for the last few years has been really easy to get. I'm still actually seeing older batches of it sitting on shelves here in Minnesota. And so when this one was released, I was assuming it was just gonna be available like all the other ones. Not at all. This one has been damn near impossible to find around here, and from what I hear, it's been pretty difficult to find around the country too. I don't know if there was hype about this bottle. I've heard good things about it, but I don't know what's behind the, the scarcity of it, but I did finally get one, so let's get a review of it. First and foremost, this is the new label, which I think is actually pretty cool. I mean, I like the old one, but yeah, I dig this. Let me know in the comments what you think of that. Anyway, getting into the whiskey, I'm definitely a Larceny Barrel Proof fan. I don't think that I've had a batch that I don't like, but I also think that when it comes to Larceny Barrel Proof and Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, I think I just like them. I like the brands enough that I don't really have particular batches that I don't like. I do think some are better than others, but I haven't had one that's bad enough or weird enough or different enough that I actually didn't like it. So, take that with the for what it's worth while I'm doing this review here. On the nose, nice and sweet up front, caramel and shortbread, like a shortbread cookie, which is nice. That's not an uncommon note for me to get on wheaters, but I don't get that on most bourbons, so it's kind of nice to have something that's a little bit different. I should say 125.1 proof. But yeah, definitely that caramel and shortbread. A little bit of, the oak is showing up on this, but it's showing up more in the form of barrel char. Which again, is not, I know that's a fairly common, nosing or tasting note, but for me, I usually get more of just the oak or the oak spice or the wood sugars. But this one's actually coming with a little bit of that actual char, so I'm looking forward to the palate. Let's get into it. Cheers. Wow, much spicier on the palate than it is on the nose. The nose was pretty much all sweetness, but there is a really, really nice black pepper and oak spice up front on this. It drinks fairly dark, which is nice. But on the mid palate, that sweetness kind of shows back up, that shortbread note shows up and a little bit of brown sugar. It's a little different on the palate than it is on the nose, to be honest. Yeah, much more spice on the front of the palate here. Now, I've said this before in other videos, wheaters are, tend to be known as kind of the sweeter, softer profile bourbons, but they are definitely not without their spice. And this one I think has, right off the bat, a really, really good balance of both of them. Let's get into another sip here. So on that second sip, definitely still have that spice up front. It's really kind of a nice bit of a roller coaster on this one. It's the black pepper and oak spice and char up front. The mid palate, that kind of shortbread sweetness comes out, and it definitely has that wheat note to it, which I really, really like on wheated bourbons and wheat whiskeys. I like it when you can kind of really get that wheat flavor. I know that that's not for everybody, but for me, it's definitely a plus, and it's definitely noticeable on this one. So the mid palate is kind of like that shortbread and wheat sort of note, and then the finish kind of gives way to those standard kind of caramel and brown sugar notes. I'm really impressed with this. Like I said before, I don't really find batches of this that I don't like, but I do know that some of them are better than others. And this one is really standing out as a good batch. I think I'll definitely have to do maybe a 2024, do all three of them in a blind and see what happens, because I don't really remember the other releases. I haven't gone back to my collection and had a pour of them in a while. But again, I do tend to like all of these releases. But yeah, this is definitely as expected. So I'm glad I was able to get a hold of this one. Like I said, you know, better late than never. At the time of recording this, you know, it's early February, so it's been a while that I've been looking for this one. So finally saw it on the shelf. I think I paid 70 bucks for it. That's a little higher than it usually is in Minnesota. Usually it runs 60 to 65, but you know, I saw it for the 70, decided better grab it while I can. So let's go in for one more sip and then before we get out of here. Yeah, definitely getting those brown sugars and caramels and even like a dark molasses on the finish. So this one is one of those ones that, like I said before, it kind of is a little bit of a roller coaster. You got the spice up front, the kind of bready, shortbread wheat notes in the middle, and then those nice sweet notes on the back end of it. I think this one drinks a little bit hotter than some of the other Larceny barrel proofs. They're all kind of in that mid 120s for the proof, but this one definitely, every bit of that 125.1 proof is present on the palate. I think this one definitely has that heat. It's not to the point that the ethanol sort of bite overwhelms the flavor. It's a good balance of that, but it definitely brings the heat, but it also brings the flavor. So I'm really impressed with this, super happy to have this on my shelf. Let me know in the comments if you guys have been able to find this. Let me know if in your area this has been difficult to find, because, you know, like I said, I know in some other parts of the country, like Myron over at Bourbon Drop, go like, comment, and subscribe. He's talked about how difficult this one was to find for him and had to get, I think, some help out of state to find a bottle of it. This one was, you know, I thought I was not going to get a bottle of it. But I don't know if that's all over the country, so let me know that in the comments, and then let me know what you think about this one in general. So anyway, this has been Larceny Barrel Proof C924 on the Bourbon Note. I'm Ben. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. We'll see you on the next one.